righty, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. So, if you are watching this video on Facebook Live, welcome. If you will be watching this on the other platforms, welcome to Learning with Karis. I'm Shanquetta Cunningham, nonprofit strategist and consultant working with nonprofits to disrupt the narratives that nonprofits cannot be profitable. And I wonder, and you're probably wondering, excuse me, how is that so? Well, we believe here at Caris that through business systems and integration, that we can really catapult nonprofits and nonprofit leaders to the next level of success in expanding outreach, attracting income, and of course, eliminating and eradicating the problems that we solve in our communities through our nonprofits. And we do that with very strategic ways. So I am elated to work with you and your nonprofit to disrupt these narratives. And one of the ways that we can do that is the sponsor of this video, which is the Decision Makers Leader Circle. The Decision Makers Leader Circle is the exclusive nonprofit coaching program for you great leaders who are ready to elevate to the next level with high quality and consistent nonprofit consulting. We do this in a weekly meetup with other decision makers, other nonprofit leaders. So there's also a duality and expanding your relationships and connections and then optimizing your growth. And if you want to join the leader circle, you can simply go to consultcaris.com/leaders circle. But even more simplified, that link is in the comments. So you can join today and meet up with us weekly for high quality and consistent consulting to grow your nonprofit. All righty. So let's get to the good stuff. Today, I will not be before you long. I wanted to share a few tips when it comes to releasing and eliminating the panic of finding grants for your nonprofit organization. As a grant consultant and a nonprofit consultant, grant strategist, right? We all have different names in these professions. One of the things that I often hear is that there's always a panic. Help, I need a grant. I started a nonprofit organization. And yes, while there are opportunities present, these opportunities often come at the request with the consultant of like this emergency and urgency position because we don't know how to find them, how the process works, and there's a great deal of misinformation. But for today's sake, if you are the nonprofit leader or a nonprofit board director, and you're just involved in the philanthropic space and you want to help better position your nonprofit organization to research grant opportunities, I'm here today to give you some things that allow you to, if you all watched Bad Boys, that woosah, that will help you kind of de-stress in searching for grant opportunities and then really give you a calmness and how to do it. And I am the consultant that likes to give practical information to my clients. Not talk overhead and have these 8 ways and all of these systems and softwares to use. And while they do prove themselves beneficial, getting certain tips and the softwares, sometimes, especially if you are a new nonprofit organization or you haven't dived into grants because you've attracted income into your organization in other ways and now want to move into the grant space, it can be overwhelming. So today I am going to share with you 3 tips that will support your organization in releasing the stress of grant research. Okay, so here is tip number 1. Organizations and grant funders have a return of investment as well, and they need a return of investment, excuse me. Oftentimes we go into looking for grant opportunities only focused on the needs of the nonprofit. I need staff, I need transportation, I need a building, I need computers. It's always our need. And while your need does not diminish in your ask, also keep in mind that there should be a reciprocity for meeting the needs of the grant making entity. They have needs too. They have a need to know that when they invest their resources into your nonprofit organization, you are going to be a great steward of their financial investment, and that this money will actually help you to expand the work that you do to eliminate the problem that you are addressing. So, the first tip I want to give you is to go into this with the mindset that this is a partnership. That as I am looking for opportunities, grant opportunities, what I'm essentially doing is looking for grant partnerships. I am the hands and feet in this community doing this great work. Now, who can I align with that has the pocketbook and who has the finances to support the work that we are doing in the community? That's the first shift. And I have to get on that because to go to the other steps, or even if you have this list and you are subscribed to these programs that helps you find grants, if you still go into this arrangement with only thinking from your benefit only, I assure you, you will not have the success that you need, that you can achieve via grants without shifting. So shift the mindset that this is an exchange, that there is a reciprocity. I am going to solve a problem through the works that we do, or we are going to solve a problem through the works that we do through the nonprofit. And in return, the grant funder, the grant entity, has a security in knowing that we are good stewards and that there's an investment, and that together we are addressing a problem and enhancing our community. And this is very, very important. Here's point number 2. When we get this mindset and we are in this shifting of our mindset that we're looking for partners, let's strategize how we do that. Setting aside some time every week will lend you tremendous benefit to your grant research and eliminate a lot of the stress. I recommend at least 20 minutes a day. And if you just want to start with 2 days a week, you pick a date: Mondays and Fridays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Mondays and Wednesdays, whatever that looks like for you. But choose a date to where you put it in your calendar and you have a standing appointment with yourself, whether that's before you start your work day, if you're up early and you want to allocate 6 a.m. to 6:20, or as soon as you go into the office, it's 9:10 to 9:30. But whatever that is, put in a standing appointment and to remind yourself that I am going to look for grant funding opportunities. And it really helps because, as we know, systemizing things adds great value. And oftentimes we kind of overthink what those systems look like. And this is a system, putting it into your calendar to research grant opportunities in a concise time on specific days. And I promise you, you'll begin to get a rhythm of researching for these opportunities. Excuse me. And then you'll see how your stress actually diminishes, and or you can share the workload because you develop a system and you've been looking and you know what's not to look for. Because at the end of the day, nothing can escape research. Again, even if you subscribe to these systems that you can pay for and invest in, you're still going to have to allocate some time to actually look through the proposed grant opportunities to ensure it's a good alignment. And going back to number 1 that we talked about, that it's the good alignment with your organization, but also with the prospect grant funder, which leads to point number 3. I know you're saying, okay, I'm going to set aside some time. I've just put it in my calendar 20 minutes, whatever days that you chosen, to research grant opportunities. So, where do I find these opportunities? Well, if you are a startup organization and a nonprofit, I know that conserving resources is of high value. And hey, even if you are an established nonprofit, we should all have good principles and working towards it for sure. On my end, to where we've kind of figure out, okay, what's a great investment, what's not a great investment. And sometimes we can utilize, well, many times we can utilize the free resources that are out there before we start making investments into grant finding software and all of this. So, with that, I want to share with you two quick, simple ways to look for grant opportunities. I am not endorsed by Candid, but Candid, I will be tagging your name and you can certainly endorse this video and endorse it as a consultant. But Candid is actually a great way to research grant opportunities. Create your profile. They also have subcategories to where you can specify the categories of grants you would like to receive, the region, and just go on Candid, look at the whole profile. It really is just a great resource for nonprofits. And in particular, it's a great resource to find grant opportunities that they have access to. Of course, they do have a paid subscription to where you can upgrade, but for now, starting out, get used to just working with the system on a consistent basis and familiarize yourself with that. And when you're doing this 20 minutes researching the opportunities, you'll also begin to look at language of these RFPs, which is the request for proposals, even if there are opportunities that are not in alignment with your mission. But you'll be able to see, like, okay, this is what they're looking for. And so when it comes upon the opportunity that will be a potential alignment, you'll already have a mindset of what it is that they're going to request and require from your organization as you apply. So that's a great way right now, candid.org. And if you would drop that in the chat, CANDID. Candid.org is a great way, a free resource. Yes, they have levels, but it is initially your first experience is free. Not first experience, it's like the initial ground level experience, excuse me. It's free. Also, here's another tip. You and I both probably have nonprofit organizations that we admire. As a consultant, there are nonprofit organizations that I want to work with. And as a nonprofit leader, I am a firm believer in building a community of nonprofit peers that do similar work. There is room for everyone. And so, as a nonprofit leader, you definitely want to be in connection with similar like organizations and similar mission oriented organizations, and look who's funding them. Oftentimes, we think that it takes all of this money to research grant opportunities when it's right in our backyard. Look at similar mission oriented organizations and or organizations that you admire, and look who's funding them. Go and follow them on Facebook. Follow the executive director on social media channels, on LinkedIn. Follow the nonprofits on all their social media channels. They like to make announcements when people donate, when they receive a grant award. So, and then that way you can look and collect that information from what I suggest, your top 3 to 5 similar oriented organizations, or organizations that you admire, and then look at the scope of who's investing into them. Then you can go and take that information, look on these prospect grants websites, and see if you qualify or how you can begin to apply for that particular grant opportunity. Again, success, there's an asterisk, but really, to build your grant portfolio, it's just going to take some work. It's going to take research. It's going to take connection. It's going to take a mindset shift. You're going to have to dig in and connect with people in similar areas and connect with nonprofit leaders. And so, doing this, though, putting the work now will yield an investment within itself on the back end. So, just to recap, Again, this video is sponsored by the Decision Makers Leader Circle, the most exclusive nonprofit coaching program that was launched last month. And I'm so excited. Every week we have a morning meetup with nonprofit leaders that's in the Decision Makers Leaders Program. And we talk about grants and board development and mindset shift and professional development sponsorships and board reconciliation and creating board avatars. And right now, we're actually on funding and grants. So you definitely want to be a part of this exclusive. And yes, I'm deeming it exclusive because every time I consult, I always over deliver because that's just a part of who I am as a teacher and as someone who is serious and is an advocate and believe that we can disrupt narratives that nonprofits, whom I deem the second responders of communities, who are assets for our communities, we can shift and be profitable, be employable, and do great things. And so every week we talk about these strategies in the Leader Circle. Again, the link is in the comments. But just to recap the tips that we've covered today when we're de-stressing about grant research is one, shift your mindset. Grants is a partnership. Remember, you are doing the work. You're the hands and feet of solving a problem, and you're wanting to align with grant funders who have the financial and physical resources to support you in solving this problem. And together, there's both an exchange of value between you two. So go in with mindsets that, hey, I'm solving a problem, and yes, I have needs, and yes, we need to build this nonprofit up to be able to solve this problem. And there are people out there that's willing to partner with me to do that. So one, mindset shift. Two, what we want to do is go on Candid, a free resource, sign up for a profile, and look at opportunities that they share for free. And remember, we're doing this because we're allocating at least 20 minutes. Either you're going to do this every day, twice a day, and as you were watching this, I'm sorry, twice a week, and as you were watching this video, I hope that you already put in your calendar the days that you are going to allocate this time. And we're going to research opportunities. And then we're also going to look at organizations that are doing this work and that have similar missions or organizations that we admire. We're going to look them up. We're going to follow them on social media. And we're going to start compiling this list of potential funding prospects so that we can also explore these opportunities for our own grant prospects and see how we can align with these same opportunities. So I can add to this list, I assure you, and I will be adding to this list. I'll give you another prong of steps next week and as you're building. But I think, again, I'm very practical. Just start with these. You have a week until we gather again. Just start here with this list. Start with these steps and just see how implementing these systems, and while they seem very basic, they're very great in your efforts, and you can avoid this panic and the calls again that I get all the time. I need help, I need support. But I will say you can expedite your research and eliminate a lot of this panic by joining the nonprofit program that I have for you in the Decision Makers Leader Circle to eliminate this stress and to give you the systems and steps and pro tips that I utilize for grant success. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your time, and I will see you next week. Everyone have an amazing week, and then let me know how these tips served you in your grant research. Until then, bye-bye.